What are the expert advisors? These are trading robots. Now, robot is the slang word and the official name is expert advisor. So this is a code that describes the strategy. All the rules like entry rule, exit rule, stop loss, take profit, the entry amount, the magic number which we use to follow the results, everything in the strategy is coded. And you can buy expert advisors from the market. This is quite expensive, and even for one single expert advisor you will need to pay a lot of money. Two is you can hire a developer, which is expensive as well. You need to provide detailed explanation about the strategy and they will code it for you, let's say a week or two. If it is a professionalist, it will be faster, but it will still cost you a couple of $100. Now I use the third option. I use strategy builders. These are softwares, professional programs for algorithmic trading, and I'm able to code the strategies without programming skills. Simply this program, this software exports the strategy as an expert advisor. The code is brilliant without any errors, and this way I can afford to trade with many expert advisors. And everyone can do it. I will show you how to do it in the course. I will show you the method that I'm using so you will understand better the strategies that I will include in this course. But I will start again with an example from the last strategy that we used. This is simply a code where we have all the rules from the strategy. And in this case, I have exactly the strategy that I demonstrated in the previous lecture. I have the indicator alligator with the jaws, the teeth, the lips, which was my entry condition. Okay, we set when the teeth rises or when the red line goes up, and we have the Bollinger Bands right over here, which was our exit condition, and we have the stop loss and the take profit of the strategy, and below you can see is the code for the complete strategy, which is something that I really don't understand because I'm not a developer, but I don't need to do it because I have it as already expert advisor. And as well, the strategies that I will include in this course, I will provide with ready expert advisors. The code will be ready without any mistakes or errors, so you can test those strategies by yourself and you don't need to have any programming skills or any experience in coding expert advisors. Now, how do we put this code on the MetaTrader? First, we need to compile it, which makes this code to a trading robot, we can say, or to a file that we can attach to the MetaTrader platform. So now I will go to File, Open Data Folder, and I will go to MQL4 and I will go to Experts. Right here I will paste the compiled file, which is the ex4 file, and I will close this folder. Then I will go to Expert Advisors and I will refresh, and it should display below right here. Now, in order to enable the trading with expert advisors, I need to enable the auto trading, but right now I'm not going to trade with this robot. I just want to show you how to place it over the chart. So I just drag it and here comes the menu with all the inputs that I have for the indicators, for the alligator, for the Bollinger Band. And if I click on OK, it will be on the chart, but on the right up corner you can see that we have a set phase, which means that the auto trading is not enabled. But we can perform a backtest, which means we will see how this strategy behaved in the past and what result it had. Okay, so now I have here the gold versus the American dollar. It is H1 chart. I will use the current spread. As a model, I will use open prices only. So as we said, the strategy here looks for a bar opening above the upper band of the Bollinger Band, and whenever the new bar opens, we check if the entry condition is there or not. And I click on Start. You can see how quick is the backtest, and we have here the results, which is the result of the backtest, so we can see each trade in the past. We have the graph, which is a pretty normal and stable graph for an expert advisor. Now I really prefer having such equity lines with the expert advisors and the strategies, because these are the so-called robust strategies. If you see this perfect line when making a backtest, normally this strategy is fit to the backtested period. And the sellers of expert advisors normally try to have strategies that have this great backtest line, but normally these strategies fail in the future. And then we have a report, and at the end we have the journal, where we normally look for some errors or mistakes that happened when trading with the expert advisor. Okay, and now right here I have only 50 trades, as you see, open number of 50, and if you look at the graph, this is about 50 trades. So I believe I have about 2-3 months or a little bit more if I shift to the end of the chart or to the beginning, or I can press the home key. I have it since 31st of January 2019, so it's about 4 months. And this is the result for the last 4 months. Now in the next lectures I will show you how to get more bars from your broker in order to have a better backtest, and especially I need that when I generate strategies and when I create strategies and expert advisors, because the more bars we have, the more historical data we have from the broker, the more count of trades we will have in our backtest, and the more count of trades we have in our backtest, the more reliable it is. Okay, because we really want to see backtest with many trades, not just 5-10 trades or something like that, because if a strategy was profitable only in 5-10 trades in the past, obviously we cannot rely on it for the future. We want to see more trades. This is why we need to have more historical data from the broker, and I will show you how to do that. So the difference when we have expert advisor and manual trading is just a proof for us if this strategy was profitable. Okay, if we do this manually going back on the chart, it will be very hard for us to decide if the strategy is profitable or not, because we will need to put some vertical lines to say, okay, this was the entry, now here we will enter short, here we will enter long. But when did we start actually? Did we start at this point right here, maybe earlier, or maybe this was during the night? We were not going to trade with it at all during the night. And when we do a backtest with the expert advisor, the difference is that we see how the strategy performed the whole time. Okay, from the whole data that we have from the broker. Doesn't matter, was it night, was it during the day, were we going to trade the strategy at this moment or not. Simply we see for all bars or for all candlesticks with these indicators what is the result, and in this example we see that this strategy was profitable. And more, when we trade with expert advisors, we can see what parameters to use for our strategy, and normally we don't use the default parameters. So for example, you can see here the alligator, we have jaws period of 31, we have shift as well, teeth period of 15, shift as well right here, and lips period, the Bollinger Band 37 and 3.62 of deviation. And for example, you can see the indicators how they come by default. If I click on edit, the Bollinger Band comes with period of 20 and deviation of 2. And imagine if we want to trade manually all the different combinations, to test it with 20 and then with 21, and then you test it for a couple of months and you see that it's not profitable, then you will decrease the deviation, for example, to 1.5, and then you will go to the other indicator and you will get really frustrated. And even having a look at the indicators chart, and especially back in time, you cannot really understand when exactly you should open the trade, when there was the exit condition, because keep in mind that the indicators are repeating. What we see right now is not what happened in the past, okay? Because the indicators move after the price. they are lagging. This is very important that many people, especially beginner traders, they don't understand that. What happens right now, we will see the indicator a little bit different. Now if the price drops, the Bollinger Band will open and we will see the value of the Bollinger Band different after some time because it follows the price, like what we see right here. Okay, so this is why I don't like to give examples back in time and to give examples over the chart, because it could be very misleading. But when we are trading with expert advisors, we actually see what is the result in details, and I will show you that later on in more visual detailed indicator chart where exactly the trades happened. Alright, so these are the benefits that we have with the expert advisors. Much more precise backtest, and we can see if actually the strategy was profitable so far or not. Thank you for watching, and I will continue with the next lecture. Cheers!